China aircraft carrier enters the Taiwan Strait. Tension between China and Taiwan was heightened after a Chinese aircraft carrier and a fleet of warships entered the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday. China's Liaoning aircraft carrier and warships entered Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone after returning from exercises in the South China Sea. The fleet sailed along the west side of the median line of the strait. In response, Taiwan scrambled fighter jets and Navy ships to monitor and control the situation. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council minister commented that threats would not benefit cross-strait ties, while China claims the Liaoning's movements complied with international law. Here are other stories on Taiwan-China relations. Why is Trump's phone call with Taiwan such a big deal? U.S. President-elect Donald Trump took one phone call from Taiwan and everybody lost their minds. But why? Civil war that broke out in China in 1927 involved communist revolutionaries led by Mao Zedong and the nationalist government. The nationalists, who were defeated in 1949, fled to Taiwan, where they hoped to retake the mainland. Fighting eventually ceased, with the two sides being ruled separately. However, both sides continued to claim rightful rule over all of China. Communist-ruled China has maintained that Taiwan is a breakaway province and that the two sides must eventually unify. The Taiwan-based government at the time declared mainland China was being controlled by illegitimate communist rebels. To this day, Taiwan is formally known as the Republic of China, while mainland China is officially the People's Republic of China. For decades, the United States and its allies recognized the government in Taiwan as China's rightful rulers, with Taiwan officials claiming China's seat at the United Nations. However, the U.S. eventually switched recognition from Taiwan's government to Beijing in 1979, and many other countries followed suit. Today, Taiwan is a democratic sovereignty, where most of its citizens say they will not surrender their freedoms to unify with the mainland. However, Taiwan is also unable to formally declare independence, as China has threatened such a move with military force. China is also concerned that an independent Taiwan would create a precedent for other regions such as Tibet to more vigorously push for separatism. China has made convincing threats. It conducted missile exercises in 1996 when Taiwan held its first direct presidential elections. The move was aimed at keeping people from voting for Lee Teng-hui, who has advocated Taiwan's separate status from China. Despite the intimidation tactic, Taiwan saw a 76% voter turnout, and Lee was elected with a 54% majority. Although tension between the two sides continue, Taiwan and China have increased cooperation over the years in the forms of postal, trade, and transportation links. Since the controversy surrounding Taiwan made headlines, members of the American public have questioned why the U.S. sells military equipment to Taiwan if it will not formally recognize Taiwan as a sovereign nation. The U.S. passed a law requiring the government to provide Taiwan with defensive weapons in case of potential aggression from China. However, to maintain the status quo, the U.S. has at the same time maintained that its official policy does not support an independent Taiwan. To keep the peace, the U.S. has retained an ambiguous position of keeping close relations to Taiwan while refusing to recognize its independence. Trump's phone conversation with Taiwan's president was a shock to China, as taking her call alongside other foreign leaders could be seen as the U.S.'s nod to Taiwan's sovereign status. However, whether one phone call signals an actual shift in U.S. policy remains to be seen.
Beijing angered as U.S. approves frigate sale to Taiwan. China has lodged a protest with the United States after the U.S. State Department authorized the sale of 2 Perry-class Navy frigates to Taiwan for $190 million. The Oliver Hazard Perry-class guided missile frigates, which have a maximum speed of 30 knots, were built during the 1970s and 80s. The frigate is equipped with the Otto Malera Mk-75, a naval gun that can fire a range of 12 kilometers, and close-in weapon Raytheon Mk-13, as well as 4 machine guns. It also has a missile system capability with the Boeing Harpoon surface-to-surface missiles and Raytheon Standard SM-1MR surface-to-air missiles. The ship is equipped with the Alliant Tech Systems Mk-46 torpedoes and Mk-50 torpedo. The frigate can accommodate 2 Sikorsky SH-60B Seahawk helicopters and is able to provide the aircraft with data on range, bearing, and identification. For countermeasures, the frigate is equipped with SRBOC Mk-36 decoy dispensers and the BAE Systems Australia Mk-53 Nulka active expendable decoys, which can protect it against radar-guided anti-ship missiles. The rest of the sale allegedly includes $375 million worth of amphibious assault vehicles, Javelin anti-tank missiles, 250 FIM-92 Stinger man-portable air defense systems, and other weapons including anti-ship missile defense systems.
Taiwan has military installations it doesn't want you to see. Taiwan's Ministry of Defense would like to keep its military facilities in the South China Sea secret and is asking Google to blur satellite images of the area on its Earth and map services. New military construction was recently revealed on Taiwanese-controlled Taiping, the largest naturally occurring feature in the much-disputed Spratly Islands. Eagle-eyed observers spotted 4 three-pronged concrete structures arranged in a semicircle near the northwest shoreline. Defense officials aren't disclosing what they are, but experts say they could be anti-aircraft towers. Taiping, also known as Ituaba, already has a 1,195-meter airstrip that's long enough to accommodate F-16 fighter jets, C-130 Hercules cargo planes, and P-3C patrol crafts. With these aircraft, surveillance patrols have an operational radius of up to 2,500 kilometers. A pier completed earlier this year on Taiping has a 210-meter berth capable of docking 10,000-ton frigates. Taiping has other existing installations, including a command post, radar, and lighthouse. Taiping is classified as a rock and not an island under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, a ruling which Taiwan strongly rejects.